Hello and welcome back to the Impression Wiz channel. I'm your host, the Impression Wiz, and welcome back again to Pester Quest. I am now on the final beta character of this game. I am on fishie. We'll finally be getting to the final leg of this game series here soon. All we have now is this little fishy girl, and then we are on to these 4. Let's get to it. As you've had occasions to remark before, Alternia is a dark world. Both because it's night all day long and because of its hideous, brutal society, where the strong prey on the weak prey on the weaker, and all this preying ends only when the survivors are shipped out and to prey on everyone else in the galaxy. And I'm glad I have some water with me. Alternia's cruelty has been on your mind for a long time, but recently it has begun to feel intolerable. You decide to take a walk in the woods to calm yourself, but it seems that with every step your mood only grows darker, your agitation greater. As you walk, you remember the names of Alternian friends who have fallen to the planet's injustices, and your mood goes from bad to worse. You've been waiting around like a spoiled, self-centered narrative device for a lightning bolt of illumination to reveal your reason for living. To explain your particular and insatiable hunger for friendship, and to show you the destiny attached to it. You think you know who caused this, but why? You've been sitting here like a child waiting for a teacher to explain the answer to a difficult math question. Vriska and Terezi are arming up to change the world. And what are you doing? Your usual bullshit. You're thinking you're navel-gazing. And then, with a sudden blinding clarity, you understand. Vriska is right. Terezi is right. The answer is revolution. Who gives a shit? Who cares what some big dumb universe thinks your destiny should be? You'll take Dream Boldier's advice and choose your own fate. Take the answer to the meaning of your life into your own hands. Set your own course. The gods, the fates, the universe, or whoever will have to jump back pretty sharply because your direction is clear to you at last. Your agitation turns to indignation. Your indignation to outrage, outrage to anger, anger to fury, fury to ferocity, ferocity to white-hot resolve. The horrors of this planet have got to stop, and you are feeling particularly dramatic today. Doubtless due in part to the shift in narrative tone and general purpose quality in this episode. So now is the time! Alternia's cruelty and violence have upset and shocked you since you arrived, but as more and more of the population suffer under these wrongs have become your personal friends, it has become unbearable. You've been wondering all along who will make it stop. Now you know the answer. If you are the main character, then you have to be the one to get the ball rolling. Blah, blah. And you have to be able to say it to be able to do it. And you've begun to suspect that you can't die, for reasons seemingly tied to your function as a narrative device. So that's a bit of a characterization you can bring to bear. No longer will you linger in the wings, waiting for narrative to summon you to heroics. With this momentous decision grinding you for unsustaining effort. That's not the word. You know what? I'm skipping it. I can't read it. I'm sorry. I'm being stupid tonight. You set your mind to the question of how to accomplish it. You start by making an inventory of the strengths and weaknesses you possess and can bring to bear on the task. Strengths. 1. Experience drumming up friendships in the most unlikely situations. 2. The ability to travel instantaneously anywhere you want to go. Weakness. Everything else. This helpful mental exercise clarifies matters significantly. You see clearly that the only way for a single humble being such as yourself to change Alternia is to go directly to the point of maximum leverage. In other words, straight up to the top. You'll need both of your resources in this quest, not question. You'll need to travel superhumanly and luminally into the immediate company of Alternia's ruler and throw your full friendship game on them, with the objective of persuading them to initiate reforms, change rules, and set the planet on a course of civilization. But your darting intellect realizes something else. It won't be easy. The ruler of a world such as Alternia must be a fearsome, fell creature, a monster of no ordinary loathsomeness and cruelty. On Alternia, you've seen gigantic, raving genocidal clowns, murderous high-bloods, and every kind of grisly crime, to a point making belief in Santa Claus almost impossible. It stands to reason that the leader of such a world must also be the cruelest, gruesomest, most terrifying being of them all, a being of nearly impossible evil. For the first time since this plan's caught fire in your mind, a whisper of doubt creeps in. It occurs to you that the most likely outcome of your quest for the reformation of Alternia is a scenario where your internal organs are festooned over a wide area. Your eyes popped out of your skull and your brain splattered to a fine mist. Well, that's a lovely picture. Don't try to picture that. While experience suggests that you're non-killable, that sort of thing may offend. Not to mention be excruciatingly painful. While maybe it would be a better idea to have a light lunch and lie down until your reforming mood passes, or press on fearlessly with your quest. I feel like that top one's the fail here. You know what, I'm gonna do it. I think it's... Oh, come on. If you, an indispensable narrative device with nearly superhuman befriending powers and actual superhuman traveling powers, won't try to reform Alternia, who will? Have you no pride, no grit, no old college spirit? Go back and select the right answer. Okay, I'm gonna select this one again and see if it says anything different. It's just gonna be that. Well, okay then. Scorning all difficulties, you decide to press on fearlessly with your quest. You gather yourself, consign your soul to heaven or whatever, and prepare for the worst. You close your eyes and think, take me to the highest being on Alternia. Then you grit your teeth and prepare for the ultimate horror. You feel the familiar sensation of superhuman, whatever travel, and the world changes around you, rendering you somewhere else, somewhere that feels quite different from your previous forced location. Very different, actually. A lot wetter. It quickly becomes apparent that there's good news and bad news. Ah, it's horrible! No, I'm kidding. She's adorable. The good news is that instead of an eldritch monster, you've materialized thanks to a rather pleasant-looking troll girl with fins on her head and wearing goggles and a tiara. The bad news is that you're drowning, as you seem to have materialized in the middle of an ocean. Glub, kelp? Your own greeting may seem a bit less cheery in that it consists of thrashing wildly with your eyes bugging out as you fight not to inhale, while trying to concentrate on zapping yourself the heck out of there. The troll girl watches in astonishment, but suddenly seems to understand. You see her take a big breath of water through some gills on her neck, and then something starts to come out of her mouth. A bubble? The bubble expands and expands until you feel its boundaries break over you, and suddenly you can breathe. You collapse coughing and gasping onto its floor, which feels like the inside of a huge submerged balloon, yielding but effectively keeping the water at bay. The troll girl sits across from you in the bottom of the bubble, studying you curiously and anxiously. Glub, 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 glub. Are you okay? The glubbing is going to be hard to keep up with. Recovering from your brush with the drowning, you're able... Okay, that freaked me out a little bit. You're able to notice that with relief that despite her controversial quirk, she looks friendly. Even glad to see you. You try to say something, but all that comes out of your mouth is water and a spluttering sound. I don't speak whatever language that is. It's very pretty, though. You burp and some of the water trickles out of your ears. Sorry, I still don't understand. Do you speak any Alternian? With a great effort, you gasp, yes! Oh, yay! My name is Pfeffery! Pisces! Okay. Glub Glub! What's your name? You bubble weakly. It's nice to meet you, Blub. You nod politely, expel another half-gallon of water, then weakly say that it's very nice to meet her too. Not least because if she hadn't been there, things might have gotten unpleasant for you. You're welcome. Oh, here come the fish puns. Oh boy. But what are you doing here? Almost nobody comes this way. Oh. Be prepared for any Sans references in this one with all the puns that she says. It's not really on the way to anywhere. She looks sad when she says it. And you wonder that some poor troll child should be living all by herself, way out in these submerged parts, so far from anyone. How did you manage to appear from nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack, Glub Glub. You tell her you were trying to use some superhuman powers you have to go visit the highest being on Alternia. The troll girl seems to perk up at this. You wanted to come visit me? Oh, she's so adorable! I thought Nepeta was adorable, but... Sorry, cuteness attack there. You shake your head vigorously to try and get the water out of your ears. The troll girl looks disappointed. Glub, you didn't come to see me? You apologize and say that you're quite happy to be visiting her, but that you misheard her last remark. You thought she had implied that she was the highest being on Alternia, just goes to show you how deep submergence and waterlogging can cloud your hearing.
Oh no, Glub. You heard me right. I am the highest being on Alternia. Most of the time, I'm the future Empress. Heiress to the throne of the Alternian Empire.
I'm just thinking about trying to edit this thing and trying to write in her quirk as a joke. That's going to be fun.
Which is a great big glubbing pile of whale poop as far as I am
concerned. Ooh. What? You look around for the multiple razor-toothed, fire-breathing, acid-spitting heads, tearing claws, and bad attitude that you were sure Alternia's highest being must have. But then you start to remember your Alternian social science. You haven't had any formal Alternian education. You're not even sure narrative devices, however indispensable, are eligible to sign up for classes. But you pick this stuff up when you hang around a place long enough. So you know that the Empress spends most of her time off-planet, leading merciless troll hordes in conquest of the galaxy. You also know that there's only ever one other member of her royal fuchsia bloodline, the heiress, in existence at any time, as long as the condense doesn't kill her on her rare visits to the home planet, that is. The troll girl glubs sadly, and you realize that being on the only fuchsia blood on the planet must be lonely. Not only would you have enough strength to accidentally tear any troll who visited you limb from limb without noticing, but you've heard some sinister things about the heiress's lusus. The vast glub, I think is what it was called. Anyway, something about it being the size of a continent, hungry as the void of space, and evil as the hell devils go to if they're bad devils. Something that might discourage casual visits by friends who don't want to double as snacks. Kind of like how Briscoes was. But at the same time, you wonder that such a seemingly agreeable and sensitive troll as this girl could preside over such a grindingly horrible planet as Alternia. How can she live with herself? Does she even know what goes on outside her insular little ocean? But you put all that aside for now. Here you are, right where you wanted to be when you made your master plan for Alternian reform. You haven't been devoured, dismembered, or decapitated, and the person you want to persuade seems eminently persuadable, not to mention friendable. So you're ahead of the game so far. Time to take full advantage. Your Royal Highness, you begin.
Glub, call me Fifth, Glub. It's much friendlier to be on a fish name basis.
Oh.
And I'm so happy and excited to have another friend.
Perfect. Phase 1 of your plan seems to have practically accomplished itself. But there's no time to waste, as the air in the bubble your new friend created is starting to get stuffy, and you know you're going to have to zap out of there soon. You mention in a casual conversational tone that you've been visiting Alternia for some time now.
Glub, do you like it?
Strange, I need a lot of water for this one. It's certainly unusual.
Heh, that's putting it lightly. I'm sure everyone has been incredibly mean to you.
Well, yes, to start off with at least.
The Sea Dwellers think they're so much better than everyone else, but they're just a bunch of selfish, arrogant bassholes.
I think there's a little bit of Mina showing with saying better or beta. It's kind of funny. The high bloods prey on the low bloods, and no one cares how other people feel, or even if they live or die. Drones fly around killing everybody weak or useless. Oh, well, she seems to know. Maybe she's got plans of her own. Phase 2 of your plan is to have half in the bag already. You feel dizzy suddenly, and now your quest is working out without the least effort on your part, and also from lack of oxygen. You're gasping for breath, and darkness is gathering at the edge of your vision. In about a minute, you're going to pass out from oxygen deprivation. What's to be done? Zap yourself the heck out of there and back to Alternia's surface where you can at least breathe. Stick around and test out the whole you can't die hypothesis. I'm going to test out the hypothesis. I doubt it's going to be good, but you're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you, and sounds are getting dim. The music actually did get dim. Oh, wow. You wiggle your fingers and try to gasp out an entreaty. Glub, are you okay, Blub? For reply, you clutch your throat, falling heavily onto the floor and losing consciousness. You gradually regain consciousness as you do. And as you do, you realize that air is going through your lungs. Fresh oxygenated air. The most beautiful thing you've ever felt. You realize also that you're in a poetical, though messy, bedroom, and while you can see underwater realms outside the window, the room itself is dewatered. Oh, the fresh air seems to be coming from a large conch shell sitting on the floor nearby and humming quietly like an air purifier. You're swooned on a chase lounge, and Pfeffrey Pikesies is fanning you with a large palm frond. Glub, are you all right, Glub? Why didn't you tell me you couldn't breathe? You scared the piscine out of me. You struggle upright and try to smile bravely. You apologize for scaring her, but observe that one of the symptoms of not being able to breathe is not being able to talk. You thank her profusely for saving you. Glub, that's an Empress duty. Instead of encouraging people to be mean and hurt each other, she should do whatever she can to help them. A tear comes to your eye and a lump in your throat when she says that. If she really means it, you have a couple of suggestions. Of course I mean it. I'm glubbed at how abyssal things have been around here. When I'm Empress, things are going to be different. You respectfully wonder how long it will be before she's Empress. Only a couple thousand more sweeps! Oh boy. Oh, more water. Oh, cool! What happens to everyone on Eternia in the meantime? Pfeffrey looks momentarily thoughtful. I don't know. I haven't thought that part out. I guess I'm not equally to my big ideas. And what if she becomes and what if when she becomes Empress, she feels differently? How does she know her imperious condescension didn't feel the same way as Pfeffrey does now when she was her age? What if there's something that makes adult Empresses evil, something they can't control? What if Pfeffrey grows up to be sociably liberal, but fiscally conservative? What horrible thought! You have to strike while the iron is hot. Never leave till tomorrow what you can do today. A stitch in time saves 9. Procrastination is the thief of time. The longest journey starts with a single step. It's no use crying over spilled milk. You hope Pfeffery has been convinced because you're running out of cliches. Glub. The air still looks uncertain. Everything you say is plumb and true. But rebelling against the Empress? It would be so dangerous, and I'm not sure it would be right. It might cause Glub Glub to make the vast glub. That would destroy everyone, you know? Glub. You mean gulp. You didn't realize that. You're not sure what the vast glub is, but it sounds bad. Oh, it is. Before we do anemone thing... Oh. You know what? These are a skeleton of puns that are starting to get a little fishy. We need more guidance and advice. As Eris, I have a special metaphysical periscope, you know. You didn't know that. It sounds made up, but a little metaphysical advice certainly might come in handy at a time like this. Without further delay, the Eris goes to an ornate jewel-encrusted tube that rises from the floor of her bedroom and seems to extend into the underwater depths, though air pressure seems to be kept, keeping the water from flowing through into the room. She yells into the tube louder than you would have thought someone so agreeable-looking could yell. Glub, 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 glub. There's a squishy gurgling sound and something extends up through the tube into the room. Something pale and featureless as a lucis, but unmistakably a tentacle. A tentacle with a bulbous eye on the end of it. You dive behind a luxurious sofa. You'd rather that the Eris's lucis didn't see how plump and tasty you look. But almost immediately, the eye settles itself on top of the tube and hardens into something that looks like a very large crystal ball. Ooh. Shapes move and change inside this crystal ball, then resolves themselves into a scene you recognize. You realize with a shock. You come out from behind of the sofa and approach the crystal ball, staring into it. I know this crystal ball! At least I think. It's part of Doc Scratch. In its depths, a dark place appears, and in the dark place, a carousel rotates. Wooden horses go up and down, and above them, naked plastic mannequins with plastic wings hang from wires. The dark carnival. Jumping Jehoshaphat's. Is that where Pfeffery gets her metaphysical advice? The scene grows clearer and clearer. Zooming in on one of the horses and on the figure riding it, your heart begins to beat wildly. It can't be, but... Honk! I don't think I ever came up with a name for him, or a voice for him. It's not gonna be Gamzee's. Suddenly, you're dancing around the room with joy. You grab Pfeffery and whirl her with you as you dance. At the first, she gasps in surprise, but then she gets into the spirit, grinning and begins to whirl too. Her strength is such that she spins you like a fan blade, your blood all going to your legs, and when she lets you go, you hit the wall like a bullet and ooze down to the floor. But as you recover consciousness, your joy is barely containable. You never thought you would see that sweet, sweet fellow again. But now here he is.
And inevitably, he's come up in the world because he's communicating exclusively with a royal fuchsia blood princess. You're so proud your heart feels about to explode. My friend Glub here, they have a plan.
Well, you wouldn't go that far. I'm just not sure what to do.
Honk, 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 honk.
Just hold on. Pfeffrey adjusts some controls on the bejeweled tube. They must be translation controls because in mid-sentence, Karoko remarks change from Semitic honks into conventional language forms. And when they do, you realize that this isn't the same Karoko you knew way back when.
Honk honk, what you ask is not simple, little one. To truly know the answer, you must learn that there is much more to your story than meets the eye.
I like that voice form. If I get to actually playing, I might keep that voice form. If I need to go back to Friend Sim, honestly.
You must expand your vision to see the big picture, an even bigger picture, of which that big picture is only a pixel.
So he's talking in rhymes and riddles.
Yes, I know that. This isn't the usual Glub shit.
Not silly quadrant Glub shit for wrigglers.
I need some real answers here.
You study Karoko. He's obviously the same troll, but the changes in him are equally obvious. His eyes are deep as wells, his face grave and kind. Either he's done a lot of reading and undergone a lot of life experience since you last saw him, or else he's become the honking mouthpiece of some vast mystical wisdom-type entity, which offers metaphysical advice to princesses. Perhaps whatever person or process sustained the Dark Carnival? But how did Karoko get that job? You wave madly at Karoko as he and the heiress talk, but either he doesn't see you, or he no longer knows you, or he thinks imparting serious metaphysical advice is too solemn an occasion for waving like a maniac. Either way, he ignores you and keeps talking.
Does a troll who paddles on or vessel down a rushing river control her own fate, or does the river control her?
Oh. More water.
The answer is, of course, both. The river has its force, but with that, the troll can move her boat where she will. You are the heiress, and thus the fate that sweeps you along is vast and swift and powerful, but also your arms are strong and your oar vessel stout. Do not despair of your own strength. Yet there is more. We see by mystic means that the rushing river you navigate is itself being swept along by an unimaginably vaster rushing cosmic river, and that the planet which that vast cosmic river traverses is itself being swept along an even infinitely greater supercosmic river. There are many such metaphorical cosmic meta river levels in this particular installation of the story. Thus, even if you row with utmost power to change your course on the river you are navigating, the river you can see, the other meta rivers continue to sweep you on as before, without regard for any tiny adjustments you may make down at your level. Yet do not despair. You may yet thoroughly long and deep meditation transcend the bounds of this small world, rising higher and higher so that you are able to see and comprehend and transcend those vast and meta-vast cosmic river levels one by one. And what you can see, you can learn how to navigate using meta vessels and meta ores fashioned from meta cosmic star stuff. Yet also remain humble. Above the creator of this world is yet another creator, and above him, yet another creator. Even then him, and above her, yet another creator. Yet vast powers move all things like pieces on a chessboard. Yet if the chess pieces grow wise enough, they may move the movers.
Okay, my brain feels like it's broken.
The power that moves in these...
Hold on. Before I read this, I need some water.
The powers that move in these universes upon universes are unimaginably large. And as yet you are unimaginably small. Yet none the less for that you in your smallest and your small world are indispensable, like a key piece at the bottom of an infinitely tall Jenga tower. Knowing these things, do you wish to undertake the great work of awakening and enlightening that will bear you into the full light of reality? It is a work of millions of mantras, thousands of sweeps, and hundreds of lives. Or knowing these things, do you instead choose to ply your vessel in the waters of your own world, remain the person life has made you, remaining a key yet unknown piece in the tower stack of universes, influencing your own destiny on your corporeal river, sweeping the destinations beyond your understanding in fulfillment of the larger story? Either choice is noble, little one. Your only duty and burden is to choose the one that seems best to you.
Oh, boy.
The fairy turns to you.
It's clear that both courses described by the wise one speaking through Kuroko holds attraction for her, and that she's on a razor's edge between them. Merest word from you will be enough to lead her in one direction or the other. Which way do you choose to lead her? And that's where I'm going to leave this episode. Because that's actually not too bad of a good place to save. That's a big choice. I have no idea what is the right choice, or if there's actually two different branching paths in this case. But I'll save that for the next episode. If you liked it, please put a like on the video. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss anything I upload. And as always, I will see you next time.